Hi Stampers, this is Lisa with Queen Bee Creations, and I'm here with today's Facebook Live. And today we're going to be making a diagonal gatefold card. And I'm trying to get all set up here. I have to apologize right off the bat. I've had COVID for like the past week, and I'm just now where I'm no longer quarantined, but I'm told that the tiredness goes on for about 6 weeks. So that's not fun. What? Come here. Sophie wants to say hi. Hi. This is Sophie. She thinks I have treats because I'm up here and I'm talking. So, again, like I said, we're making a diagonal gatefold card. This is it right here. And it opens up this way. Hi, Janet. I'm so glad you made it. Bye, Nancy. Okay, and this is another one that I made. Same kind of idea, different colors, different stamp set, but the same fold. And today I'm doing the Easter stamp set, but I'm going to be doing different colors because I love to show you guys how to do things different. So many of you want to follow things exactly the way I do them, and part of it is the idea of being creative, of being able to pull out colors and just make a fun card. And so a lot of times just the fold alone should give you a good head start. And then some people say, well, I can't pull colors together. Okay, so flip over the back of the designer series paper and look on the back and pull colors out of there. And it's like set the papers down on your desk, or maybe pull out all the ink pads and take a look at them. And a lot of times they'll give you a lot of inspiration. And you'll eventually see something that comes together. So today we are going to get started on these cards. Let me do the switcheroo here on my desk. Oh, come on, give me the cursor. There we go. So here's my desk, and we're going to be using the Easter Friends stamp set. Those of you who have been here before know that you should be entering #PrizePatrol so that you can get entered into the drawing I'm going to do at the end of this. So go ahead and do that. And we're going to get started on a card. Now, I did already make all the pieces, and part of me thought I should just start with this, with everything all pre-done, but I'm going to show you guys how I made that. Because sometimes you still get confused. So I'm just pulling out some more papers since this was a last minute decision. And we're going to take our 8.5 by 11 and we're going to cut this. Instead of 11 inches, I want this one to be 10 3/8. So that's right between the 10 1/4 and the 10 1/2. Or if you're looking over on this side, it's just over 1/2 inch that we're cutting off. And then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to score this at 5 1/2. Now be very careful. I have a tendency to use my cutting blade when I score. We want to go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to turn it this way and cut at 4 1/4. So I have 2 pieces for my card base. I'm going to do this piece at 4 by 4. And then I need a piece of designer series paper. Reach down for one of those. And so I'm going to do this at 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. Okay, now to make the base look like this, because this is 4 1/4, I'm going to come over this way 4 1/4 and make my mark, and then we're going to score diagonally. So keep entering Prize Patrol, but I'm going to take down the banner so you guys can see. If I can find the cursor again. Darn, I lose that a lot. Okay. Okay, so like I said, I want to measure over 4 1/4. So you guys can't see that. Okay, here we go. 4 1/4. I'm going to make a little mark. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. Now I'm going to lay that in my track and the point in the track. And then I'm going to score between those two things. Oh, again, score. I have a tendency to do those sorts of things on camera if you haven't been watching me long. Okay, so there's one. Did I mark this? Yeah, I did right there. Okay. So here to there. Okay. Now I'm just going to take this, I'm going to fold it over, and I want it to touch this edge. And then I'm going to go up this way. And this is just my way of making sure that my diagonal is exactly where I want it to be. Because there is going to be a little bit of an overhang. But I want my bottom to be flush, and then I want my top to be flush. And then I'm making sure that I burnish. Now, if you look at this, they look funky because I've got them both going the same way, but don't panic. All I have to do is flip it around like this. I've had so many people in class go, oh no, I folded it wrong. And that's not necessarily true. You can just change the fold direction. So that's going to be our card base. Like I said, I have these pieces that are going to decorate the front of the card. And because I just made that a triangle, I need to make these triangles. So I'm taking my 4x4 square and I'm cutting that in half. And then I'm going to take my 3 3/4 by 3 3/4 square of designer series paper, and I'm going to cut that diagonally. Now, I don't like to smash corners, so I usually tend to drop my blade down in the center and then go up and go down, because sometimes running up this way, you'll kind of smash the corner, and that doesn't look so pretty. Okay, so now I have pieces. Because this is a standard card size, the inside is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, which means that I want my inside piece to be 4 by 5 1/4. And I decided that I'm going to do that with a colored layer, and then I'm going to go 3 3/4 by 5 over that. And that's just adding a little border. You don't have to do that, but it's an option just to give it a little more color on the inside. And then we're going to need a couple circles for the front. As you can see, I have the die cut back here. So we need to die cut those. So here I have our cut and emboss machine, which takes up all the screen. Here we go. Not big enough. Sorry, I'm going to reach over here for another piece of white. That one's got some marks in it. So I'm just lining the two of them up on my cutting plate. Now, some of you may be asking what this shiny thing under here is. This is my chrome precision base plate, and it's just on my platform as normal. And it takes the place of my number 2. And it just, the precision base plate makes it easier when you're cutting detailed dies. And I realize these are not detailed, but that just happened to be already stuck on there. And I'm trying to be quick because I know you guys get bored watching me do just simple things like that. We want to know how the card goes together, right? So now we can start assembling. So I'm going to take my base and I'm going to adhere the 2 together. Now you can do seal, but if you prefer, you can go ahead and do liquid because that gives you what I call wiggle room. And because we want this to be precise, I want to set one on top of the other and I want to wiggle it around. So I want to make sure that my center goes together the way I want it to, and that my edges are all nice and flush. So there's the hardest part of this entire card. What do you think? Pretty simple, right? This pink is Blushing Bride. And then my yellow is Daffodil Delight, basic white. Where's my other pieces I cut? There we go. Daffodil Delight again. And then these are out of the Marvelous, Simply Marvelous, which is a free option through Celebration, which ends next Monday. So if you're planning on putting an order in and want some of that free stuff, you need to do that this week because that sale is going to be all over, and so will all the free stuff. So it's a great time to place an order. Okay, now we can choose to do this with the marble side up, or we can do it with the satin side up. Oh, I'm kind of thinking the marbled. What do you think? Now, when I adhere these, I want to adhere them onto there with the border only being on this outside edge. I want the middle line to butt up to my score line because I want the centerpieces to touch. So my border is only going to be up here and down here. Looks like I need a new blade. Yes, I did do a small twist gatefold in a video with this one at the same time. That was using the Under My Umbrella, I think was the stamp set at the time. So I have done this fold before, and then I did it yesterday for my team meeting and somehow got my measurements messed up. And then I was all over Pinterest trying to see if somebody else had done it that could give me the measurements, and I couldn't find it. All I found was mine, which I thought was kind of funny because I must have gotten the idea from somewhere, but I couldn't find it. So I did some math and figured it out. Yes, it is a fun fold card. It's a diagonal gatefold card. So again, I'm going to put this on here and I want to butt up the edge to the score line and only have the border on the 2 outside edges. Okay, so there, because I took a square of it and I cut it diagonally, my pattern lines up exactly, which is kind of nice. And then it opens. And then we just decorate the inside as normal. Although I am putting that extra layer in there. So this one, again, 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then we're going to stamp onto the 3 3/4 by 5. Yeah, the mini twisted gatefold, yeah, it makes it really narrow in the center, and then your triangles go off the edge. But this just seems, I don't know, more normal to me. It fits into a regular size envelope and mails the way I'm used to, and I don't know, all that fun stuff. So now we're ready to do our stamping. And like I said, I'm going to do this Easter Friends card or stamp set on our card. And I'm going to go ahead and use the same duck I used last time because I know he fits. And I'm going to stamp him in Daffodil Delight since that's the yellow I'm using. Now you see his beak and his eyes and his feet. I mean, it's all one color, which looks okay. You can leave it that way, or you can come in with your Stampin' Blends and just give it a little bit of color just to spice it up some. I mean, I could have stamped him in black and colored all of him, but you know, 90% of him is the yellow, so might as well do it this way. And they call this a no-line watercolor. When you color over it, it kind of disappears into the image and looks like it was stamped in multiple colors. On the inside, I'm going to show you another trick. I'm going to stamp the little chick. So I'm going to pull out this little one and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ink it up. Okay, now you'll notice I can see very clearly where the feet are and his beak and his eyes. And so I'm going to bring in this time my Stampin' Write markers. Now these are different. You don't want to color onto your stamps with the alcohol markers. Those are bad for your stamps. They're good for coloring, bad for coloring on your stamps. That's what these are for. And it's got a thin end and a thick end. And they come in all of our colors. But I'm going to take and color his eye over with the black. Now, because I inked it all in yellow, the whole thing is yellow. And because this is darker, it's kind of going to take prominence over the yellow. And I waited a long time, so I'm going to huff on it because the moisture from my breath will re-wet the ink. And then I can go ahead and stamp this little guy. And he's going to come out in multiple colors. So you can color them up either direction or either way I showed you there. No barking, you guys. Somebody's outside making noise. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pop this one on with dimensionals. And then this one needs a sentiment. We do have some little grass. We could decorate this up a little. I don't know if you guys have seen my latest trick, But I've always been shoving these in here in the back so that I know what stamps are missing. But some smart person on my team showed me that we can do this. I'm going to pull everything off, and I'm going to take this. And remember how we pulled off all the stickers to put onto our stamps? I'm going to go ahead and pull this one off. There we go. So now this whole thing is sticky, and I'm going to place it inside my case, and it's going to give me all of the holes so I know where all my stamps are and what I'm missing when I go to put everything away. But by doing it this way, I take off that opaque part and I can read the stamps. Genius, right? It's like she took my idea and she made it better. I love it. It is hard to find stamps for St. Patrick's Day. We do have some in our catalog that are kind of a all the holidays sort of thing. What's up there? It's A Wish for Everything. There's dies and stamps that go with that. There is a St. Patrick's Day in that. There's also the idea of just taking your hearts and turning them inwards, and you can make a clover with several of the hearts together. Or you can use our suit dies. Remember the suit that came out in the catalog a couple years ago? It was handsomely suited. I made a green kind of a leprechaun suit out of the dies for my card. So that was really cute too. So you kind of have to be creative, but there are ideas. Okay, so like I said, I'm just going to add a little something in here. And then I wanted a happy Easter. Now I could go a little further and add some clouds. Now this was cut out using the Basic Borders dies. I just cut the edge of one of our, this was on the back of Designer Series paper, so it's cardboard, but it's a thin cardboard. And then if I lay that down and then I swirl one of my blending brushes here, and it'll put a few clouds. So cute, huh? So, I mean, again, that's just something that was made for a different purpose, and we just kind of used our creativity and made it what we needed. Okay, so now we can put this inside. Now on the outside, we're going to go ahead and we're going to stick this down, but make note that we don't want to stick the whole thing down. If we do that, we'll never be able to open the card again. It's going to seal it shut. So one of the things I do is I kind of hold it where I want it, and then I make a little mark back here of where the edge is. And then I just make sure that my adhesive stays to that side on my circle, so that when I come back and I set it down, I don't have adhesive on this side. See, it was only up there. So now my card still opens. I'm going to grab a few little embellishments because he looks a little plain. There's my take your pick tool. Now remember, when you need to get more putty out of it, twist this up until some putty pops out and then back it off a little bit, because it being tied down or screwed down tight is why it will continue to ooze. And so if you leave it backed off a little bit, it will stop oozing. And then I was told by somebody who is artistic that when you add little embellishments that you want to add them in odd numbers. So I'm going to put 3. And there's our finished card. So what do you think? Is this something you're going to give a try? So there's today's. These are the ones I came in with ahead of time. So again, the same fold and 3 different cards. And you can see how we could twist this up and make it a happy birthday or a happy Mother's Day, or, you know, whatever occasion you're looking for, this fold will work. Oh, good, Nancy. I'm so glad you're going to try it. That excites me because that's why I'm out here doing this. And like I said, this is the last week of celebration. And so if you're thinking of placing an order, it should prompt you before you sign out that anything you order out of our mini catalog or our annual catalog, if it adds up to $50, then you get to start picking out of here. If it's $50, you get one of the level 1 items. If it's $100, you get a level 2 item or 2 of the level 1. So the Marvelous marbled paper I used today is a $50 item. Simply Marvelous. So here's the paper here. And you can get that for free with your order. And also, if you order through me as a way of saying thank you, I give you what I call a customer appreciation PDF. And this month it's on the tulips bundle. So it also shows you how to put those tulip dies together. When you die cut the tulips, they're a little funky. They're odd shapes, and there's a trick to putting them together. So I do have a page in my customer appreciation PDF showing you how all those go together. So I encourage you to pop on over there. My store is open 24/7, and you can always message me. I'm always here to help. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you next Monday right back here for another Facebook Live. Let me get my thing over here. I want to share my screen and do our drawing. Everybody's got their comment in there, right? If you're in the United States, you typed in hashtag Prize Patrol. I'm going to share my screen, which is this one here. And then I'm going to pop over there and do my drawing. So Melinda is our winner today. Congratulations, Melinda. So I will make sure that I set that aside. I have some other things for you, Melinda. You had ordered a paper share I still have sitting on my desk upstairs with your Christmas present. So we need to hook up. I haven't seen you in a long time. So let's get together and I'll give you your goodies. The rest of you, I'll see you next week. Thanks. Bye.